right. How's everybody doing? Ding.
Hey,
Let's
buddy.
see. Sorry we're a little late. Had to do some video updating.
Yeah.
Hey, relax. Relax, bro. You bringing the heat. What's it called? No. Let me just welcome everybody here today to Imaginex Live. It's our live stream for the month. So we've been thinking about how we kind of wanted to do this. And I think the best thing that me and Noah kind of talked about was I think what we can do is we're gonna start off the live stream with some type of topic that starts in animation, but I think we want to use this time to really engage with our audience as much as possible. That's why we changed it from just something that's exclusive on Patreon to something that is now both Patreon as well as
Just
you
some
know,
regular
regular
fans that
regular
are.
stuff. But like we love our fans, all our fans, obviously. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that we're going to be adding stuff for that first 30 minutes. That is going to be very imperative and based off kind of what you guys want in terms of the patrons. So we have some ideas, and we're definitely going to be changing some of them to get more people in here. But like, just please let us know what you believe is like a good idea for what we
Yeah,
could do
stuff
with
that you
that.
guys will want to see,
Right,
that
that first half hour.
'cause yeah, this is like the perfect time, especially since you guys are like sort of exclusive in that first part of the stream to really let us know, what you would want to see.
Right,
Like because
exactly.
it's one of the few really opportunities that a lot of times that we really get to really hear directly from you guys.
Right. And so, also please let us know. We think we figured everything out when it comes to the audio setup, but please let us know if like you hear anything or there's something that's not working. Also, like if you want, make sure you definitely sign into the chat. Say something in the chat. We have that going. But yeah, so we just want to make it really clear and communicate to this. I know that we kind of did this a little bit behind the scenes, but again, we just wanted to make sure that we wanted to make this change kind of like right now so that we can kind of see it. Because right now we currently only do this about once a month. So as things go on, we'll figure it out. But for now, we're gonna go with the old format of kind of just talking, and then what we will then transition to is essentially, um, you know, what you guys kind of want and what you're looking for in that content. So if you guys are like, hey, for the first 30 minutes, I think it would be cool if we could do some, like some targeted Q&A or something like that, or something along the lines of like, maybe we doodle something specific or we answer very specific questions, stuff like that. Or just submit your ideas to us. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. But yeah, so that first 30 minutes, we want to make you guys feel like you're like exclusive. Like you're our patrons, you're the people who are like subscribing to us, supporting us. That's what we kind of want to just know what's going on. So definitely just let us know. But yeah, so at 7 o'clock, we're gonna post this, the link everywhere. Kind of it's gonna go from unlisted to just regular, and then everybody should be able to see it. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. We couldn't particularly test that a little bit because we weren't sure if we're gonna go through to it until like kind of today, and then on top of that, YouTube was kind of down like a little bit yesterday. So there was both a couple of reasons, but regardless, hopefully we can get everybody on here, get some more people in here, and grow the audience. But
Yeah.
with all
So
that
trying to.
said, since I just spent like 5 or 10 minutes on that, I guess we should start. I think today the topic that me and Noah wanted to talk about was we wanted to talk about music in animation. I think music is a critical role to any portion of like to pretty much all films. Like no matter
Yeah.
what your film is, like what you have, like your music is always going to be an important factor to it. So today I think it's worth us talking about that and how it relates to animation. Um,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
so
Like,
what would you? Yeah, go ahead, Noah.
Oh yeah, well I was gonna say like yeah, one of the things that yeah, kind of to just kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, like music is so critical. Like music sometimes elevates something beyond like not even just in animation but in film in general what it initially is. Like I remember like reading something like with Star Wars that we were talking about the original cut of the movie was just so awkward. But then they added like John Williams' score and it really just like was like wow, this is like cinematic. This is a movie.
Yeah,
You know?
imagine like you watch the scene where Obi-Wan gets cut down, and then it's just like, jump. All
That's
right,
it.
moving on. It would be like the
Exactly. It's
weirdest
just
thing ever.
yeah. So like no, but it's cool and like animation especially like it's the history of music and animation. I mean, yeah, it's really from the beginning, really. Like, you look at like I feel like you want to look at like, Disney music, is clearly like a critical role in their films in terms of like the fact that they do musicals. But even before they were doing those full length movies, you got to think like those first Mickey Mouse cartoons. A lot of that was just they were playing with the novelty of being able to sync music and sound to images, which before like those first Mickey Mouse cartoons, that had never really been done before. So, it really can elevate something, beyond just what it is. It can really underscore emotion, really heighten action, and, just really make things feel, just every, because I think, animation a lot of times is just making something bigger than what it actually is. It's about exaggeration. So exaggerating drama, exaggerating action, and exaggerating just real like comedy, all of that. The music plays a critical role in addition to the visuals too, you know.
Hmm. I think for me, the biggest thing that I think music adds to it is one of the points that you were talking about, which is just the emotion. I think that's what I think really gets to me is how much when you add in that music, like how does it make you kind of like feel? Like there's scenes that you think about in your head like after the fact, and it's just like, oh my god, that was so epic, or this is that and the third. But like in reality, it was definitely dope, but like it was something about that music in the moment that I think really just makes you feel like this is different. Like this is
Oh,
like an event.
it sets it over. Like, I remember one of the movies that we watched in class, like when I was in my acting and directing class in college, was we were watching Toy Story 3. And we were watching the scene where they're all going to be in the incinerator at the end where they're going to like the dump and all that kind of stuff and they all think they're going to die and they hold hands and the visuals in that scene are really great. The emotion, the acting with the characters is really awesome, but we watched the scene without music too, music and sound too, and it was still a good scene, but it just didn't have that same emotional kind of kick to it, without
Right.
it. So,
Like imagine Lion King, the part with the Simba down in the gorge, like that without music would be so awkward. It would
yeah,
be
it's like, and it's like the visuals, of course, are so important, and it's like that is like a visually like I mean, like that stampede scene is like it's if you can see it on the big screen, it's really awesome. Like that's one of the few movies that if it gets re-released, I'm always gonna go see it. But like,
yeah.
yeah,
Every
you're
time
right.
it comes out, it's always like a thing. Like, all right, here I go watching a film that I've probably seen at least 100 times. Like
Mm-hmm.
one more time on the big screen because it's nothing like that part where he's like, oh, on the
Yeah, no,
mountain, and I'm just like, I
it's
feel you,
something
bro.
about like the scope with it all, but it's just like when you see the wildebeest coming over the hit like the gorge, and then the camera just like does that dolly like zoom like directly into Simba's face, and then you just hear the music go whoosh, and then it just kind of starts to build up with all that percussion. It's just like you really feel yeah, like Hans Zimmer like does like a really good job with that. Like it's just great in that movie.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And plus the African vocals and stuff like that added on top of it really I don't know. Like it just really elevates that like to another level.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
it's
the even what are we talking about? The complete opening, like,
oh hell yeah.
like,
Circle of Life.
oh my, like that's the only time. Like, think about it. That movie opens with like no context. but you just kind of like feel like you're like, oh, I'm in for something epic when you hear it. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
and the power that comes from it, things like that. I think just the way that music and audio, and I mean, we're talking about music here and scores. You know, we're not even talking about audio. I think that can be its own whole separate
Oh yeah,
division
for sure.
because I think just as much as like how important music is, sometimes the absence of it, like, can be used in great effect. I think about perfect example. You think about Up. That
Mm,
movie plays with your emotions all over the place. But the scene that to
yeah,
this day, like, if you know me, I don't even really, I don't be crying. Like, I think my tear ducts might actually be broken, but like, I really don't be crying. But that one scene always just gets me. I've always said it's like it punches your heart in the balls. Like, it just gets me down so bad because you see him when he flips. Spoilers for a movie that came out like 9 years ago, I think. At this point, but like you see, like when he opens that book and he goes to the page at the end that he had never been to, and the music just slightly shifts, and they're using happy music, but the music slightly shifts down, and you hear like just that dun 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 dun, and he just
yeah,
realizes he's just like, oh man, like she was so happy with her life, and you get to see him kind of live through all those memories
yeah. Because
again.
there's no dialogue in that. Like you really have to
Right.
get everything from.
It's just straight visual, and when you watch that, it's just like everybody knows that feeling of like that person found a way to move on, regardless of the horrible thing that happened to them. I mean, in the film, if you've never seen it, which I don't understand how you wouldn't have, it's one of the best Pixar films ever.
At this point,
But
it's a great film.
right, but like like Ellie just couldn't have kids, and she always talks about wanting to have them. To be denied something based on nothing of your own volition, just
Oh
fate,
yeah.
and then finding a way to live with it. That is something that I think is inherently human, and so I
Oh
think they
yeah.
do a great job in kind of highlighting that.
Oh yeah, and then like to bring up like an older Disney movie, like one of the like I feel like the first handful of Disney movies are really awesome, like Snow White and Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi, because they each of them are trying to do something like different and pushing the art form at the time. But one of the things that I always give credit to Bambi to is like just in terms of something that I studied a lot was there's really not a lot of talking. There's less than like 600 words of dialogue in that movie. It's mostly everything is told through visuals and music. But one thing that's very effective in that movie is that there's only one it's about 10 seconds. There's only one moment in the movie that there's complete silence, no music whatsoever. And it's after Bambi's father tells him that his mother, is not going to be with him. It's spoiler for like an even older movie, but like his mother is
A
dead and
smooth
he's
30 years.
right. But it's like what, like 1942. So yeah,
Oh,
like
what?
y'all have
I
missed
can't
that.
even do math. I gave it a little bit of help. Like, no, bro, that movie ain't come out for a long ass time. A
Exactly. No, but
long
still,
time ago.
but like it's one of those things where it's like yeah, like it's great because like when he says that, that's the only moment in the movie where there's no sound, and for some like, and there's just no music, no sound effects, nothing, and it's just it makes that moment a little bit heavier
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, up to that point, the movie wasn't really that heavy, So it's like it's a really good use of music and drama in that. I think, just personally, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely it could be used to the power of it. I love music so much. I always had this concept of like doing like because music videos are music videos, like but I would want to do like a music video where you use music as like essentially a way to just tell a story. Like, so there's visual dialogue, there's visual things, but the dialogue is set to like I'm talking about incredibly minimal. And then I think it was just like design concept that I had at one point that I wanted to do. Essentially, it's just like, hey, we're gonna use the music to tell a story, and so it's like it's literally a music like movie almost. Like there is no dialogue or essentially none, and you use the music. Like I'm pretty sure that's like something that already exists. But I had like a way, like I wanted to do like like for me, I was thinking about like, oh, like let's do like a like a coming of age short film, um, about like a guy or something like that, and things like about those details. I always thought that would be interesting, but it was less about the concept and more about, hey, how can I use this to like, how can I use this to kind of just like explore how the music works, and then like
Oh,
using that to kind of talk about everything. Where when you listen to the music, it gives you context for what's happening in the film. I think that I would love to do something like that because I love music. I love like the implementation of it into films. Sorry about
oh
that
yeah.
police siren. It is like right now we're going through the golden age of global warming, in my opinion, and because we're in the global age of global warming, it can be November and 81 degrees inside of my house with no heater on. You know,
It was pretty hot earlier in this week.
yeah, but then today was cold, so like right now my
Yeah.
room is cooling off because it was so hot in here, and so I had to open up the window. But I don't know, like people where I be living at sometimes just be ghetto. I don't even know, like they be having cops out here, and I'm just like, what y'all doing? Chill. The
Nah, and it's
windows.
like nah, but like the kind of like it like the idea that you kind of brought up, I thought that was really cool. Like what you had said about like not to change the subject, but what you had said about like the music and stuff like that is just like to tell your story is really great. And honestly, like I implore anybody who is like a storyteller to try telling a story that has no like like dialogue or anything in it. Like I remember when I was working on Floyd, like one of my big influences on that was like early Disney movies like Fantasia and stuff like that. And I was hell bent on not using any dialogue. One, because I was like, none of these characters have any reason to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But also like it was just like
Yeah,
I
I mean a
wanted to.
tennis ball and a dog. I mean, to be fair, they
Yeah, I was
also
like,
don't have eyes, but I'd be fine
right,
if they didn't talk. I think you know what's so interesting. I didn't even realize that Floyd is completely without any type of musical
dialogue. There's
dialogue.
no Yeah, like even like there were early concepts where there was going to be like potential dialogue, and that all kind of got pared down, and there was even going to be like a one-off line from like a human character, but that all got deleted. And when I was working with the composer at the time, I was really trying to explain them, well, not explain to them, but kind of like direct them with the motifs and stuff like that, because I wanted to really have themes. So there's certain music when you watch the film that plays in certain moments. So like the Bruce has a theme when he's chasing Floyd or playing with Floyd and things like that. That'll play, and that theme gets lighter at the end when their like their relationship kind of mends. But then Floyd also has a theme that plays. He
Mm-hmm.
has a theme that like for himself that plays in the beginning, and then he also has a variation on that same theme that's a little bit sadder when he has to kind of come to terms with his relationship with Bruce towards the end of the film. So it's like kind of using that music to sort of subconsciously aid whatever visuals are kind of going on is like always like it is always great. It's like you want to of course make sure you have a solid story and everything like that, but like you're right, especially when you have films that don't have any dialogue at all. You really have to rely on the music to kind of punctuate some emotions that might, be a little bit lost without it.
Right, exactly. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and so I think music always plays that. But like, I mean, we're talking about specifically here animated films. I mean, this extends.
Yeah.
Like, if we stay in animated content but keep it locked in with music, I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've been like playing something like a video game, and the music is so instrumental and like making you feel
Yeah.
like a certain character. Like for example, if anybody out there has ever played, something like Halo, like when you hear those drums, like one of the it's crazy. One of the first themes starts with like a guitar riff, and then it finds its way into like these like ho 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 ho, like an acapella type noise and just big African drums. Like it goes from like and it's something about that where you're just like, yeah, I get it. Like I am like in this all the way. Like you're like driving the jeep into the battle zone. You got your guns blazing. It brings so much um, added content into there, and sometimes I forget that video games are like animated content. I mean, to be fair, like 3D content for the most parts, but like
It's still animation,
yeah,
yeah. No,
definitely. But dude, I'm telling you, like
that's me.
that always I think about a lot of those things, like and that type of um how important that type of music like inclusivity is in there. I mean, like we both played the new Spider-Man PS4 by the way, bro. Once I get off this stream, we about to go play
I was
that.
gonna say as soon as I get off the
Yeah, I'm
stream,
like, as soon as I get off this stream, I got that
like,
Miles Morales right over there on the PS4. Hey!
oh, exactly. I was like, oh, so I got the launch edition specifically because I wanted that Spider Verse suit, bro. Like,
Oh yes, bro. Yeah.
it's like, it's like when you pre-order and all that kind of shit, you get it. Like, you don't have to unlock it because I was like, good, because I want to play this whole fucking game with that
Yes.
shit on.
No, bro. I'm in
Like,
there as soon as we get off of here. What's it
yeah,
called?
that ass. Like,
I'm in there like somewhere. But speaking of music and animated content, how can we not bring up Spider Verse, bro? Spider Verse,
oh
Spider
yeah,
Verse, Spider Verse. That is one
yeah,
of the
because
best, like, just because it was a collaboration between a lot of different artists. But my God, dude.
I was gonna say yeah, because we've been talking about scores mostly up to this point, but like even having like okay, so like yeah, like Spider Verse is like really good in terms of like even having like various artists record on a soundtrack. Like that's perfect. You know what I mean? Like the way that it really helps put you in the movie tonally, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, you think about like I feel like you know the scene. Now, to be fair, this movie's a little bit sooner. If you haven't seen Spider Verse, I'm okay with saying leave the stream now, go watch Spider Verse. But um, no, don't leave the stream, stay here. But you can watch it afterwards. It's really good. It's worth it. But
Yeah.
literally in Spider Verse, they have this one scene where you have Miles and he's like afraid to take that leap and actually become Spider Man.
Yeah, that's great.
And the music is so perfect for it. It's just like this. It kind of gets in your soul. Like even me thinking about it right now, I'm getting the chills in the back of my spine. Like the
Yeah,
vocal
it gets
delivery by
it's really
I
good.
forget the
Like
artist who did that.
and like like the way they kind of layer the dialogue in it too. Like
Yeah,
okay, here's
it's
one
like
that's not
yo.
as spoilery, but I feel like it's super underrated though. I feel like even though it's pretty short, having Sunflower be sung
Yes,
by Miles at the very beginning, where he's kind of like singing along to it, but he's not really singing all the words because it's almost like he's not really supposed to be singing all the words and stuff like that because he's
that's
too young.
perfect. Right.
But like, that is a perfect way to introduce the character, you know? Like, that is just great. Like, I don't know, like, it's a unique way of introducing a character too, especially a character like that, that we haven't really seen before.
Right. All right. So, hold on. I gotta do a little bit of editing real quick to let's make this public and save. All right. So now this is public, and now anybody can kind of join. So if you're on the stream and you're enjoying yourself and you think somebody else will enjoy this, send them the stream. Have them come and watch if they got nothing to do. Just come.
Even if they do have something to
Let
do,
them come.
tell them fuck that shit and do this game. Watch our stream. Nah, but seriously,
But for
like,
real though.
if you want to join, just go ahead.
No, but
Nah, but
sorry
what was I
about
gonna
that.
say? Yeah, like no, like a non-animated example is Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 uses music so well to underscore the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, the music in that movie is an actual plot point. In terms of how it relates to the character. Like it oh man, that movie.
Right.
I mean, I love both Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I know people don't really like 2 as much. I think
I
it's
think two. I don't have like a problem with two. I just think I enjoy one more.
Yeah, one is better, but I'm not gonna lie. Two is the only Marvel movie to almost make me cry.
Oh yeah, that's pretty
Almost.
sad. I
Yeah,
think
because it's like,
whenever you talk about stuff like, you know, seeing your parents or kids and dads, like because of how like, not coming up and stuff like that, that always just makes hurt my heart. So it's just like,
yeah, like that movie is sad. It may be your father, boy, but it wasn't your daddy.
but it wasn't. It might have been your father, boy, but it wasn't your daddy.
I
Perfect.
love that. Like it's pretty great. Oh man. Like who are these people? Yeah, no, but just really.
Yeah, no. Let's see. Hold on one second.
No, you're good.
So Noah,
Yeah.
question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, to be fair, it's not fair. Let's be clear. It's not fair. But if you had to choose, what is like one of your like your top five like movie animated film like scores, music, everything involved in the matter.
Ooh, that's actually really hard. Damn. They just gotta be animated.
Let's stick it to animated because like we already know it's pretty complicated now when it comes to like
Shit, because if I do animated, that's gonna make it even harder. So I said that. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah. Let's keep it to animated. Give you a
all right,
challenge.
all right, all right. Let's see. Lion King is at the top of the list easily. That's number one, and then the rest of these are in no particular order.
Oh wait, wait. Before you go to that, I just saw from Elgin. He was talking about the intros and outcrops of Guardians with old school jams set to the tone of both films. Yeah. Sorry we missed that comment, but yeah, no, that is an excellent point. Like just that first intro of Star Lord kind of like dancing his way up
Yeah,
there, and
it
then
tells you everything you need to know about his
yes.
character.
Oh, you know
Every
the part that I love. I love when the song comes on. It's like I'm I'm not afraid or something like that. So don't forget it, Papa.
oh yeah 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 yeah
This
yeah.
silly
I'm talking about it.
face I'm going through. Like you get this whole feeling, and then when he plays the cassette tape, and his
Yeah,
mom's like final song. What was the song again? It was
ain't no mountain
yeah,
high
ain't
enough.
no mountain high enough. And I'm just like, hey yo, they really did that well, man. So yeah,
Yeah, they did.
I mean, Guardians is still one of the top 10. Like, it's one of the best ones. I think like when you go and
Sleep.
look at a
No,
list because of like rank, huh?
it's my favorite Marvel movie. Like the
Is it
first,
your
yes,
favorite?
Guardians One is my favorite Marvel movie. Like it took a long time to get to that point. Okay, like I had to like I've been shifting my
Black Panther.
rankings.
No, what about the culture?
Okay, I know, right? I know, right? Here's the thing, right?
I'm fucking.
So I really like Black Panther. Black Panther is actually number two, but emotionally for some reason Guardians gets me differently. I don't like okay, so I lied when I said Guardians 2 is the only Marvel movie to almost make me cry. Guardians 1 also almost made me like when the mom, but not the first time I saw it. It was like literally the fifth time I saw it. When the mom has like, because she's like dying of cancer and everything like that at the beginning, and she's like, if you haven't seen this movie,
Yeah.
uh, oh man, spoiler alert. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about, where she's like,
Alert.
take my
No
hand.
need. Yeah. Oh wait, it's
You
the
know,
song is "You're All I Need to Get By" Marvin Gaye. I think it's the song that plays when he's talking to his mom. Or is that by Aretha Franklin? I don't know. You're all I need. I was just going off of Elgin's post here. You're all I need to
oh
get by.
yeah, that is okay. I was gonna say that might actually be it. I have to like think. I haven't even seen the movie in a while. I just know that it's like it is a Marvin Gaye song. It is a Marvin Gaye song.
Oh, okay. It is a Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah, that might actually be.
All I
Yeah,
remember is that it made me really sad. That's all.
yeah. I would say
We
yeah,
can at
like
least agree on that.
yeah. No, it was pretty sad. Like, but yeah, I don't know why. It's like Guardians is my. Yeah, it might be just my favorite Marvel movie. Like, and I love because I love all the characters. Because I remember it's like I remember the first time we saw it when we saw it at that Cinemark. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, we did. That was the first time that I tried out that It was like
Same.
you go and it's kind of fancy and they give you food and a drink. It wasn't that big of a deal, but
Yeah, but it was like
it
it
was
was
fun.
still the thing is it was cool because we were getting ready to go to college, and that
Yeah,
was like the last Marvel movie
the
we were gonna
last
get to
Marvel
see.
movie we were gonna see. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, no, but I definitely, I really did enjoy. Yeah, I mean, like we said, Guardians is great. We kind of like we'll get back to the other question I asked earlier,
oh,
but
I'm
like
sorry. Like
Marvel
we just got.
films. I mean, here's the thing: when you do ranked choice voting, Guardians always wins. That's like kind of what like Guardians of the Galaxy one always wins, and I think it deserves it. For me, Marvel films overall, it is so hard because every single one, like each one,
None of
kind of holds.
very rarely are they like just unwatchable. Most of them are like there's some that are like weak, but
Yeah,
most
like we don't talk about
unwatchable.
Thor twos. I haven't seen Thor two in forever. It might be actually a better film, but I just know the first time I
Okay,
watched it, I just didn't
so
enjoy it.
visually, it's an amazing movie. I watched
Oh,
it
the
again
visuals
recently.
are amazing. Yeah, but like,
It's but the thing is, visually, it's actually better than to me Thor Ragnarok. It's
what?
like better.
Thor
Okay,
Ragnarok.
let me explain to you why it's visually. It's something about the color grading in Thor 2. It's easier to look at. I feel like the way Thor Ragnarok is lit is kind
It's
of
lit.
boring.
Um,
Right? It's like it's very
how
like
could you look at Thor Ragnarok and the word that you come out with is it's boring.
no, here's the thing. The movie itself is great. It's the best Thor movie. But in terms of like, it has the same problem to me as Civil War. Civil War is the most boringly lit movie I've ever seen.
I
Like, it's
agree.
just
Everything in
like,
Civil War is like flat and
it
gray.
looks like they used fluorescent lights for everything. Like, I don't know why. It's just like, it feels like the light is so washed out, like, which is crazy because if you look at Taika Waititi's other movies, they don't look like that. So I don't know why
You really, but there's so
Ragnarok.
much color in Ragnarok.
There's a lot of color in Ragnarok, but I feel like they don't pop the way the colors do in Thor: The Dark World. It's really hard to explain. It's something about like the colors feel really flat in Ragnarok, whereas they don't feel as flat in Dark World. Like the reds are really red. Like the
Yeah, you
Dark
look
World,
at like in the Dark World, like Thor's cape is like
yeah,
blindingly red. It is there to
yeah.
get you down.
It's like the colors pop like how they do in Guardians movies, honestly, in Thor: The Dark World. The colors don't pop the same in Ragnarok. They feel kind of grayed and washed out. Like it's hard to explain. Like it's like I said, it's shot very interestingly. It's something about color and light though. I don't know. It just always made me feel like this could have been like this could have looked cooler. Honestly,
All right,
that's one of my
so
problems.
Elgin says the final fight scene in Ragnarok was visually one of the best color grade scenes in franchise. Man,
Okay,
it was so
I take
vibrant.
that.
All right,
That
defend
part,
yourself, no.
I
I
was gonna
want to hear
say
this defense.
that part. Okay, I take that back because when he's coming down,
It
what you
looks like a
call
goddamn painting, dude. Come on.
it? That's cool. That's cool. Maybe it's all the Sakar stuff, which is where 90% of the movie takes place. That looks boring.
But
It's
it's so
like
vibrant. I like.
I don't know. It's just to me, it looks like it's like flat. It's like it has a lot of colors in it. The colors just look flat. Like I don't know. Like it's weird. Like it has the same thing that the airport fight has
Well, yeah, the
sometimes. Like,
airport fight is that is just it's
that's flat.
yeah, that's flat. But you
Honestly,
know what?
okay.
That's kind of like their goal. I don't know. It might have been some Disney ugh, like
I don't know. I think it has to do with like time, money, like budget and stuff like that, and also wanting to keep the worlds looking grounded. But here's the thing, right? At this point, y'all got aliens, like all this different kind of crazy stuff coming down and happening in these worlds. You got a talking raccoon. Like, feel free to use some color, yo. Like, I remember when I saw Endgame, right? And like the ending fight, which is still visually impressive and is just shot really well. I just wish it had a little bit more color.
But I
Like, I
feel
don't.
like that fits it thematically in the tone. Like, if you say you don't have a lot of color and then you say Thor Ragnarok, I'll go back and watch it for myself. But if that's what you believe, or if that's what you that's your opinion of it, I could get
I
how
guess
that
I
could be
wanted to be
tonally
more
an
like a
issue.
comic book. I guess if that makes sense. Like I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes my thing with comic book movies is that sometimes they don't borrow visually from the source material enough. Like Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a cinematic movie, but they use color and like visuals and like animation and graphics to their advantage. Now I know it's a different type of movie, but they use it so well in that movie. And if you look at something like Spider Verse, the way they use color in that, again, I know it's animated, but it's still a movie. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like it's like I feel like sometimes live action movies, particularly superhero movies, the reason they don't do it is because people already don't take those movies seriously. So there's this fear that if they try to do something really weird and crazy and out there visually, people won't take the movie seriously. But it's
Right.
like I don't like they're entertaining movies, just like if you don't take if they don't if somebody like looks at like Endgame and doesn't take it seriously at
Right.
this point, like they weren't going to take these movies seriously
Fair
at
point.
all.
Fair point. By
So
the
it's
way,
just
Elgin, we just checked it. It is "Ain't No Mountain High, Ain't No Mountain Low," which I think is
oh it's
yeah, that
okay,
is
cool.
this tape scene from Galaxy when his mom like says it. Um,
Oh okay, cool.
yeah, no, but each to each his own their opinion. I will say Guardians though kills it when it comes to the colors, like just
Yeah,
all the way around, always really colorful. But I guess we can double back to like, all right, let's now that we've figured out the Guardians thing and we've landed on a controversial topic. Um, when it comes to like your favorite animated film, Noah,
like
top five,
music.
top five from a music perspective, top five. What you got? You got 30 seconds. Actually, you got a minute, mostly because I don't have a timer for 30 seconds.
Let's see. So Lion King. A lot of these are going to be Disney movies just because their music is just so memorable. But like Lion King, Beauty and the
Well, you don't love
Beast.
Shrek's music.
Okay, I like Shrek 2's music. Shrek 2 actually might go on the list. We're gonna talk about Shrek 1. But Shrek 2 actually has a really great soundtrack. Damn, there's this one animated movie that I saw recently that I really enjoyed the music on. Damn. For the Cows it might have been. I can't remember.
Wait, I don't want to get copyrighted. Sorry. It's on YouTube.
That's all I can think. It's like my mind is like drawing a blank. That's all I can think of right
I do
now.
for.
Wait, what's your top five?
All right, so top five. I don't know that one, but like I'll work it out. I'll work it out. Actually, I want to take this opportunity instead of talking about my top five to talk about the
Yeah,
one that always comes in people's top fives that I believe deserves its spot, but gets touted so much that like it is the hype, but at the same time, chill. The movie like has been the movie for a long time. This is gonna be a controversial statement. I
I already know
feel
what you.
like I feel like Lion King gets hyped up too much when it comes to the music. I
To
understand.
the music, okay, to the movie, I will give you,
Okay,
but to the
okay.
music,
Here's the
you
thing.
bullshit, bro.
No, 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 no,
What?
no. Chill, 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 chill. To the movie, for sure. But to
Mhm.
the music is excellent. You saw how much I loved it and how much I
Yeah,
described it way back when we started the stream. So it's like I was super into the music all the
yeah.
way. However, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that everybody hypes it so much that it just overshadows other really good soundtracks. Like,
That's fair.
yeah,
But
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that the music in it
but
is
here's the thing.
bad.
No, no, you're wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But let me tell you, this is why I think personally it's hyped up. One, here's my thing, right? I feel like yeah, Lion King gets it's a great movie. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. But I feel like sometimes people always like sideline other really awesome Disney movies and really other awesome animated movies for that, right?
Hmm.
But I think the reason Lion King's music in particular is touted out is because there's something particularly unique about that soundtrack that I don't really hear in other ones. And when you do hear it in another one, your immediate thought is, this sounds like Lion King, right? Because it's like, it's something about, like, honestly, that's the only movie's music that I would say make, like, I'll never forget, yo. You remember we was in the movie theater and we saw Lion King again,
Yeah.
and the Circle of Life played, and then you hear this music like sweeping or whatever. I'm sitting there feeling all regular or whatever, and I hear them African vocals, and all of a sudden I'm like, shit.
I'm
Like I was
crying.
just kind of like exactly. I was
It
like,
touched your
oh,
soul. I think when you
it's
hear that,
something about music. It's just like when you hear it's like those vocals. It's something about them strike a chord.
when
It
you
hit a little.
found all place.
I don't know if it's like maybe it's like something tapping in deep because a lot of those lyrics are actually pretty political when they're translated.
Oh no.
Like it's like because that was like when apartheid and stuff like that was going on. So a lot of the lyrics are like "Give me back my country," all that type of stuff. It's like I don't know, maybe that emotion was in it when they were singing it, like singing a lot of those backup vocals. But like I don't know, like it's something about it. It's just particularly emotional. Whereas a lot of other animated movies and the songs, while great, they're a little less. They're a little more tongue in cheek, which isn't bad. I love tongue in cheek stuff, like Hamilton. You
Right.
know, that's pretty good.
One
Yeah,
second. Let me just check.
but yeah, like I already know what your favorite, one of your favorite Disney music scores is,
Yes,
and
for me, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna say this, but so hands down, just to start off, my favorite like Disney film from a from a content movie perspective is what's it call it is Mulan. So
okay, that's a
Mulan
good choice.
from a content perspective, I feel like her story says a lot of things that I really like, and I feel like ultimately that is one that I've been able to always relate to. I always looked up to her as a hero. I like her appreciation for her family, things like that. And I really love the music in that. But one movie that I feel like goes unappreciated for its music, as somebody who grew up with gospel, is Hercules. I'm
Okay,
telling you, um, what's it called? It. Hey, Ivan, thanks for joining the stream. It's we're talking about favorite music, whether it be score or just actual individual songs in all animated content and live content as well. We're talking more about the animated content, but we literally just spent like 30 minutes talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So both go. But what I was describing, just if you're joining right now, I was talking about the question that I posed to Noah was, what is like your top five? And we kind of like are having like a hard time like kind of getting to that. So let's not go for the top five. I'm just talking about some of the ones that I really appreciate, and one that I really appreciate is the music in Hercules. Like, if you grew up with gospel, you know that first of all is blasphemous. I'm on the Greek side. Ain't no reason gospel music should be in a
yeah.
story about Hercules. I don't know who let that happen, but that might actually be racist towards Greeks.
Well, actually, let me say, like, people in Greece really didn't like that movie when it came out. Um, like, okay, so I've got a controversial opinion about Hercules that might honestly lose us some subscribers,
Oh
but
no.
it ends up being, it turns around. So I really enjoy the music, the movie Hercules now, but that literally wasn't until this year. I used to fucking hate that movie. Like,
No.
yo, so let me tell you all why I didn't like the movie. So now I'm gonna tell you why. I first want to tell you why I like the movie now. I think Meg is an awesome character. I think Hades is an awesome character,
Mm.
and the way they use music is like Meech was saying, is just amazing. Like, it's really great, right? But I think the thing that I still don't like, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore, that used to make me not like the movie, is that I have no idea what it's about. Like,
Yeah.
so in like Hercules himself, right? Like usually I can figure out like what a character wants and like what's the lesson they need to learn. But I feel like he had no agency in the movie. His dad's like, he's like, I need to find where I belong. And his dad's like, oh yeah, you belong with me. You're a god, right? And he's like, okay, I guess that's where I need to go. And then all of a sudden the movies is about like sports endorsements and why that's not like what makes a
It
true
came out in
hero.
the
And I was,
'90s with Michael Jackson,
I
or
know,
not
that's what I'm
Michael
saying.
Jackson. Jeez Louise, Michael Jordan.
It's like a sort of like weird Superman Rocky story
Yeah.
that's kind of weird, but it doesn't bother me as much now because even though I think Hercules himself is kind of a weak character,
Thank you.
every other character around him is so good that it makes the movie really good.
Right.
Like, because Hades, one of the most underrated Disney villains
Oh, for
ever.
sure.
Like, Hades is awesome.
I
Like
love the
everything he
character of
says,
Hades.
is
He's like literally,
hilarious.
he's like
Like,
literally like, hey man, like you gave me the shit into the stick, and now I'm
you
like
know,
trying
and
to
it's
deal
like
with it.
he's like a sleazy like car salesman.
Hmm.
Like that's the kind of vibe he gives me, which is like really cool. Like I don't know, like I feel like it's yeah, like yeah, no, it's like but I like the movie now. Like I used to not like it though. Like it used to really like I was
So
like,
you
oh man,
like the
I
movie
just
not for the main character, but for the characters that surround
no,
it. I will agree.
yeah,
Hercules is a pretty one note guy. It's
yeah.
pretty straightforward, how like what he wants. But I kind of like it's a person who feels like they don't belong. That's like the key. Of, like that's like the where his character starts, and he's always just trying to find where he belongs. And he thinks he belongs, like in Olympus with the gods, and it's like I should be with those people. And so he's on this journey to, like like kind of find like what it means for him to really be like a god. I think it's really contradictory to what gods actually were in the Greek mythos. But like like in the end, his father's like, it's not the measure of your strength, but the measure of your
But the
heart.
of your
And I'm just
heart.
like, I know enough about Greek mythology to know that ain't even kind of true. You capping,
Yeah,
dog.
I was gonna say, because most of these people
Right.
sucked. Like, I
But
was gonna say
regardless,
most
the
of
point is,
them,
okay, I get what the message is. It's like, follow your heart, that's what's important. And then he turns down to God to.
it works well as a Disney
Yeah,
movie.
but that was such a Disney, good guy, and not really like, like Hercules, like, like Hercules heard that. And I think at some point he, like, figured out, he was like, you know what? I don't care if I'm in Olympus. If I can't be with my girl, then, obviously I'm good. And I'm like, I totally get that sentiment, and I think that's a good thing.
Honestly, that ain't make no sense to me, bro. I was like, yo, it's like, now let me
You
stop.
being, it's like, come
It's
on, you
like,
got like there
no.
any babes in in Olympus? Look at all them
Like,
girls. Nah, but
I was gonna say you need to get like your dad, bro. It's
right.
like, no,
You get your dad is beefing. No, but I mean
yeah.
his dad is dating his daughter. Come on, like
Oh yeah,
relax.
no, that's not his daughter. That's his sister. That's
Oh,
pretty
sister, my
weird.
bad. Yeah, it's big
Yeah,
gross.
I was like, yo, I was like, Disney kind of didn't really touch on that smartly.
It's like the white guy blinking eyes, like oh
Yeah,
no, but I think like what you said is perfect. I think like the character of Megaroar, I really like the character. Yeah, and Ivan says like his sister who he assaulted. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know a ton. I haven't studied too much Greek mythology. I just know that every time I hear something and somebody says something crazy, I'm like, oh my lord. The most
yeah.
honestly, the most Greek mythology I know about either came from Thor, God of War, and that's not even Greek mythology. That's Nords. So God of War is like a good one. But if you ever played that video game, um,
Oh no, I have that game. It's pretty good.
yeah, I just. Oh my God, have you not beaten it yet?
No, I haven't
Oh
beaten it
no,
yet.
you need to beat it. I beat it last week. It was so good. I love
Oh
the
man, I got.
characters in there. It's just like it's like boy.
Yeah, no, the characters are really good. The character work is good in that game. Honestly, you know what's another game that I gotta beat that I literally everybody keeps telling me how good it is, but I haven't gotten really that far. Is what is it? That Jedi game, Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. Here's the thing. It's good,
It's
but it's like
yeah,
don't play that game for the story because the story is
yeah,
like
that's the thing.
Ivan Kraddock says Zeus is the OG Ron Jeremy. Well, yeah.
Oh, oh,
I remember when I saw the controversies, and they're like he's gonna serve 300 years in prison. I'm like, whoever thought Ron Jeremy was like a good guy? Like,
I was gonna say like
I don't need to
it's
talk
like
about that on this stream, but suffice it to say, when I was not surprised in the crimes he was charged for. Like
yeah.
what would be a crime you'd be surprised if somebody was charged for?
Honestly, yeah, most of the time when someone's trying to charge for a crime, I'm rarely surprised. Like,
Right. It's always just like, uh,
It's like him.
Him.
Mm. Oh, that makes sense.
It's like,
It's
yeah, I didn't
like,
even think about it. No, but what was I talking about before I went the wrong journey? Um. Oh yeah, video games. Did we get past the God of War thing? I don't remember. If anybody remembers,
oh, we
post it in
talked
chat.
about you said Jedi Fallen Order the
Oh yeah,
story,
okay. So Jedi Fallen Order the story is like it's good. It is, but it's basic.
but
It's just basic. It's not
mm,
like too much. You play that game for the gameplay. I thought the story was fine. I kind of like the
yeah,
ending, but like, you know what it kind of felt like? It felt like playing the video game version of Rogue One. And I know there's some Rogue One defenders out there. I like Rogue One, but let's
yeah.
all admit what we're really feeling here. Rogue One went from like a solid 6.57 to like an 8 for like one scene.
I was gonna say it's not even the one scene. I will say this: like the last act of
The
that movie
my
is
bad. I'm
actually
sorry.
pretty.
The last
The
act of the
third act,
film is essentially
yeah,
what brought it because one scene usually can't do that. The last act of the film is what elevated the entire film up to like a
yeah.
solid 7 for me. I would
Because
not
it's the
agree
only
to anybody
Star
saying
Wars
it's
movie that actually feels like a war movie,
right.
and it's that
Like when
act.
you
Yeah,
watch
like,
them fight and they're going at it, it's really good. And you just think about that
but
scene.
I get what you're, but I do get what you're saying with the Jedi Fallen Order thing because like I don't know, like part of the reason why Spider-Man PS4 is my favorite game of all time is not just because I love Spider-Man. Like I am a Spider-Man fanboy sellout, but
Fanboy sellout, get all the merch.
I am a shill for Spider-Man, but at the
Stan
same
Savage.
time, it's fun because you get to be Peter Parker. Like I won't even say that like, oh, I feel like Spider-Man when I'm playing. Like I don't really care about that. It's like I really feel
The amount of
like
reviews I've
connect
read. This makes you
like
feel like Spider-Man.
yeah, like it's like no, I'm not Spider-Man. But at the same time, it's
Thanks for
like
the
I feel like
compliments, Aberdeen.
connected.
Aberdeen says we're some cutie pies.
Cutie pies.
Aberdeen Berea. I think I'm saying that right. It's 2 R's. I don't know if I'm supposed to roll that R. I'm working on my Spanish. I can't roll R's right now.
Hey, I don't even know. Wait, I don't get the question. Where's
She
some
says
what?
we're some cutie pies. That's it. She's just Aberdeen. She's just being nice.
Oh, okay. Oh, you said, oh, we're some cutie pie. I thought you said where.
Oh!
I was like, I was like, I don't know.
I
I
don't
was
know.
like,
I don't even know what is a cutie pie. I
I
don't
was
know.
like, oh,
Like a
well,
moon
thank you
pie.
so much. Now I feel like a jerk because I'm like,
Yeah,
huh? Huh?
you was big mean.
I just didn't hear what you were saying. I was like, huh? But like, yeah, no, like I feel like I'm okay. Well, like Peter Parker is cool. Like I love being like following this character around. Who is this redhead kid with a lightsaber? I don't care. I don't even know his
Right.
name.
I played the whole game. I think it's
See, you had to think.
think, bro. I'm currently thinking. You said it like it was past tense. Let's see.
Right.
Um, Connor.
Come-
That's my best guess.
That's the same thing to me, like with Avatar, yo. Like every time I look at it, not like Avatar: The Last
I was about
Airbender,
to
because we
say
can talk.
ATLA.
About
Whoa, hold up.
that. No, we can talk about that
Hold
show,
up.
but we're
Yeah.
not right now. But like, I'm talking about Avatar with the blue people.
Yeah. That was
Like,
very.
I
What
feel
was
like,
going on in that film?
you know, like Avatar 2 and 3 are coming out. I'm like, bro, I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Right.
We don't care. It's like, because to me, it's like, I'm like, I don't even know the main character's name in that movie. Like, who is that guy?
Right. No.
Do we need to continue the story of? Hold on, let me look him up.
Jake Sully. I remember.
Sully, that's his name.
Yeah, Jake Sully. Oh, Sully. The snoo snoo.
Oh, I thought his name was. It says here his name is Sam Worthington.
Oh, Jake Sully is his character name. Same word as the other guy.
Oh, my bad. That's the actor's name, Jake Sully. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that's it. Yeah, but yeah, I can't. I was like, I can't. I can hardly remember anything about that movie, but visually, it's amazing. I love the way it looks.
Cal. Cal was his name. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate that. His name was.
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah, it
guy's
was
name.
Cal. Cal.
Yeah. Hey, you said Connor.
This had the C right.
Yeah, true. Cal is with a K, right?
Ivan spelled it with a C, so I'm gonna trust Ivan.
Oh, okay, well maybe it is Cal. Maybe I'm wrong. I was gonna
You
say I'm
got the C
wrong, but
right.
like,
Ivan says I got the C right. I'm going off of that. So I feel
yeah,
good. Um, yeah, no, I mean, video games like for sure. Like I think like one of my favorite characters. Why was we even talking about this? I'm having a harder time. Like,
listen, we this is how usually combos go with B and Beach. We just be talking about stuff and then it just goes somewhere
right.
else.
I
But
legitimately have no string of thought back.
since we talking about games, I'm going to take this opportunity to promote a game that I think is the greatest game of all time and everyone should play. SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini
I
Bottom.
mean, it's a legend. We don't talk. We don't like. If you haven't
Yeah,
played Battle for Bikini Bottom, what you doing?
you haven't lived.
Right, bro. I'm
Like,
sorry.
it's like,
It goes. It
I
goes Super
was,
Mario Brothers, Zelda, Bikini Bottom.
that's pretty much how it goes. Like,
Somebody said the Toon Squad said boo.
boo, boo, get out of here, get out of here.
Oh man,
That's probably Jimmy. Hater.
hater. Nah, man, I enjoyed that game. I haven't played that game in so long. I gotta replay that.
I bought the rehydrated version.
Ooh,
Yeah, like they got like a new one for like PS4 and stuff
it's
like
Daryl.
that.
Daryl said that.
It's Daryl. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, you know what? Toon Squad. I should have known that was Daryl. He said, "Boo."
I think. Let's see. What are some of my favorite games? Is Genshin an acceptable substitute for Zelda? Oh yeah, Genshin's that new game that just came out. I don't know if you know Noah. It's like a Zelda
Yeah,
Breath of the
I've
Wild.
seen it.
I have not had the chance to play Genshin. I have heard from another very devout Breath of the Wild fan that it's built very much in the light of Breath of the Wild and that it's also pretty good. Me personally, I haven't tried it, but for me, like in my top probably five, Breath of the Wild is up there for me. I think it probably goes Halo 3, Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild, um, Mass Effect 2 specifically. Um, let's see. Yeah. Those are like definitely the top three that I can think of. There's plenty of games that I love, but when I think about the ones that are just like classics, it's gotta be those two. I mean, I love the Halo series. Breaks my heart. But Halo 3, the amount of hours I spent, I must have been on Halo 3 for.
Bro, I remember that era.
I mean, like, you think about it, it's like, I couldn't even really calculate it. Like, definitely way over 1,000. Like, easily, probably, not easily, but somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 hours. I know it's a big range, but like 5,000 is where I'm starting the minimum. I put so much time into that game. I played that game since like when it first came out until it died. So, um, yeah, no, I mean, for me, I'm one of those like type of people. If you give me something that I really enjoy, oh, Skyrim's up there. Um,
Oh yeah, that was whatchamacallit. I think didn't I get you that game like was that a different game?
no. Yeah, what happened with me? It was the weirdest thing. I had never played an Elder Scrolls game before, but this game was getting like a lot of like praise, so I was like, I'll try it. So Redbox is still a thing, but I don't use it anymore because who has DVD players? And so I went to the Redbox and they were doing games, and I rented out the game. It was a horrible price. It's like $3 or something per night, something crazy. I ended up paying
Hmm.
$9, I think, when it's all said and done, and that's like a tenth of, or that's a sixth of the price at the time. But I bought it, and so I took it and I was like, okay, I'm going to play it and I'm going to see if I liked it. I picked it up on Friday. I played it all the way to Sunday. All of the homework that I had to do for the next week, didn't do any of it. Had to figure that ish out in the middle of the week next week. I paid dearly for it. Probably failed a couple of things. But the point is, literally the next week, that next Friday, I turned the game in at the end of the weekend because it was only a 2 day rental. I came back the next Friday, bought the most expensive edition they had of the game. I was completely sold on it and then continued to play. That's how you know you just really like something. I mean, but like honestly though, like Breath of the Wild is another one of those. I kind of had a feeling I was gonna like it, but I didn't know how much I was gonna really like it. And I love Breath of the Wild is one of those games where it's like you take it, and because of how it plays, there's a couple like different ways to kind of play it and do your own little thing, and so you can give it to a lot of people who aren't traditionally like gamers, and they will find like a way, their own way of kind of playing it. Like for example, I give it to my girlfriend, and like she doesn't play really any games, like not especially not any video games. And she was a little like, like, oh, I don't know if I'll like it or anything like that. But I was like, just give it a shot. I mean, she literally won't give me back my Switch now. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, she got to give it back to me tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week, because they got a Zelda prequel, which I think was the most interesting thing. They took the prequel because they're like, all right, the next game is not coming out for a while, but we got this other studio over here working on a game. How about we give them the prequel, but it's going to be a different type of gameplay? And I'm like, I am starved for any amount of content. Give it to me. I don't care if it was a chess game. I would play.
Take my money.
Right, shut up and take my money. It could be a chess game, and I'd literally be there playing like, all right, time to learn the Queen's Gambit.
Right. Oh, speaking of which, that's a pretty good shot.
I heard it was really good. I haven't had a chance to look at it. It looks so sad though.
It is pretty sad. Like, yeah, like me and one of our friends were watching that now. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, but ultimately, yeah, favorite game, favorite sets of games, favorite movie animations. I love the music and character. He's kind of doubling back all those different things, but yeah, no. All right, so we're 7:40. We're probably entering in the last, I'd say probably somewhere between 10 or 20 minutes of the stream. So if you have any questions, just post them in the chat, and we'll be taking like full on questions for the next couple of minutes and trying to focus on that. So drop any questions you have in the chat, and we can. Two Squad says, "Is that for me?"
Yeah, I was gonna say this is for you since you've been such a hater.
So drop any questions that you have in the chat, and we'd be definitely down to answer them for you. But yeah, no, I hope one day I get to work on like that start to end finish of a film and really take into account all the aspects of it, like the music, everything like that, because I feel like that is so critical, and I pay so much attention to that content side that it feels like like I really just want to kind of have a way. I want to have an opportunity to kind of like really focus on that.
Right. It is like, because the thing is, it's a very like I'd say like it's a very rewarding experience. It's draining, but it's definitely rewarding. Like, because I think like for example, like the most recent thing we did with the Carsons, like that was like so draining, because it was just like it was like, it usually something like that you would have like months and months to work on, and we kind of did it all in like 1 month. So it's just kind of like, but it is a rewarding experience as you get to see like all of the pieces kind of come together and really really take shape, and like see your characters kind of come to life, see the world come to life, and really like having to kind of make like critical decisions in terms of like, okay, what is this? How is this going to be? But how is this going to look? How is this going to feel? It's but yeah, and it's like, the more you do it, the better you get at not only being able to articulate your own ideas, but also just like just like developing a language for how to communicate your ideas to yeah.
So perfect. I think a good example we could talk about was like literally you're saying how to say a language with music. A movie like Coco, which I want to.
Oh yeah,
I still haven't seen Coco. I know it's good. I have not seen Coco.
It's so good. Sorry. I love Coco.
The point is, I do know things about Coco, enough to know that you know what? Not enough to talk about it, but definitely enough to be like, Noah, I heard the music is good. What do you think about Coco's movie? That's what Ivan asked.
So I really enjoy Coco. I feel like Coco does a really good job, because it does have some original songs and things like that. But one of the things that it does well is it also uses song, like actual like music, to kind of like real world music that's not original to the movie, to sort of create I think to set a cultural backdrop. Because one of the things I think Disney movies can do really well is that transports you into another place that feels fantastical, but also still something familiar at the same time. And I don't know. I feel like the music does multiple things in Coco. It's like one, it tells the story. Two, it functions just on an entertainment value, just being really fun. But it also really helps develop the world that we're in. One that feels like it has, you know, like culture and heritage with it, which is like a lot of the themes of the film. So, I mean, just personally, I think that the way music is used in Coco is just used phenomenally. Like, I love that movie. Like,
Mm.
man, Pixar movies, like, they really like know how to like tug at the heartstrings because that was another movie. I'm like talking about all these movies that made me want to cry in the movie theater, and that was one of them.
Yeah,
Like,
I really get
like,
annoyed when a movie almost make me cry. Like, I know I shouldn't be because it did something right. Speaking of things that almost make her cry, I don't know if anybody has seen it, but please go look out Taika Waititi's Coca-Cola commercial for Christmas this year.
yo, I was like,
I think
huh?
Noah described it perfectly. It's disrespectfully too good. Like, it's
Yeah,
so
it has
it
no
has
reason to be
no
as good as
reason
it
to be as good
is.
as it is. I am not gonna lie. I watched that commercial. Literally, almost started tearing up. Like I felt like I wanted to explode tears for like a solid 2 seconds, because
But you know what though? Taika Waititi is actually really good at that. Like I feel like people always talk about how funny Taika Waititi is and how like fast and smart his movies are. He's actually really good at emotion.
oh my
Like yo,
god,
Jojo,
JoJo. I mean, look, we what the
yo,
butterfly
you
scene.
know what scene I'm talking about
Yeah, the
too, right?
butterfly scene, bro. And then you know what
Yo,
scene? Look, butterfly scene, legendary. I kind of felt it coming, honestly, because when I was
yeah,
watching it,
because they kept showing her,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
When I was watching it, I was kind of like, I was like looking at Taika Waititi, like, because I know that he directed it, so I thought it was kind of
yeah,
like funny, and so I was like kind of look around at the different stuff, but then like the thing that I really like that I feel like nobody ever talks about is the Hitler intimidation scene where
yeah.
he's talking to JoJo. Oh my god! Like the movie's tone is just like whoa.
Yeah, because up to that point, he's kind of just like
Yeah,
oafish. You don't really take him all that seriously. But in that scene, it's just like, oh
this is who
yeah,
this person
this is
is.
yeah, like this is Hitler. Like
Ivan said that he saw Jojo Rabbit for the first time 2 days ago and was not prepared for that emotion. Yeah, no,
yeah,
we're
no,
not gonna
like it
spoil it
literally.
on stream, but like
Yo,
I'm telling
okay. There is only two times in the movie theater, and it's gonna sound dumb as hell, but like only two times in the movie theater that I've audibly gasped.
you.
I audibly gasped and I audibly gasped at Frozen. Like it was the only two times I was like while I was watching it.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I was like,
yo. It,
it would Anna if someone loved you. I remember watching.
I
I
was
remember because I watched. I
like,
had heard the hype of Frozen, and I was just like, man, what is this shit? Because whenever it's like gotten to the point where it's just hyped up so much.
yeah, it makes it hard to watch it. Like, fortunately, I had seen it literally the weekend it came out because I went to go see
Right,
it with
because
my
I remember
cousin.
when
So
I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that looked like some hot garbage.
same. I was just like, yo, this movie looks like it sucks. I
Right, I
was
was like,
like,
Josh Gad. What has he ever been in that's good? No offense to Josh Gad. I mean, that's definitely offensive to Josh Gad. But like, what I mean to say is, I don't want you to think I meant to hurt your feelings. I literally have just not seen you in a good piece of content that I've enjoyed. So
besides Frozen.
besides Frozen, so it's like you got
Yeah,
one. But
yeah,
um, I literally went to like I was like so I got the D. I literally didn't even go see it in theaters. They brought home the DVD, and my niece, she's a big fan of Frozen. I was like, all right, let me see this. Took it upstairs, put it in the Xbox. So I was just like, it's like 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. I have school tomorrow, but whatever, I'll watch it. And so I put it on. I was thoroughly surprised. I was like, oh, this
yeah.
is good. This is real
Yeah, and it's
good.
like it was like I was like this. I really like this. I really
And I
dig this,
remember
and I feel
that,
like it started to get to the point where people like hating on it for no reason. Yo, I was like, come on,
like that
yo,
scene
this
though
is
was
like a
just like,
cute kids
but
movie,
Anna,
bro.
it's sad. It's like, well, that won't work because no one loves you. And I remember watching it like,
I was like,
oh no. I
it
literally
was
was like,
the
did I miss
disrespect.
something?
Yeah, it's like this is really just. He was like, oh Anna, if only there was someone who loved you. I was like,
I
damn.
was like,
I
what?
was
Wow.
like, that's not necessary, yo. Like, it's
Right.
really not
I
necessary.
was like,
Like,
damn, bro. I just couldn't. I didn't see it coming. Cause they give you enough that if you didn't, I feel like you could get it. But like, I'm telling you, man, off the jump, I did not see that coming
I did
at
not see that
all.
coming at all. Honestly, I remember when they did that "Love Is an Open Door" song. I kind of like groaned because I was like, "Yo, are they really doing this?
Yeah,
Like, are we
I
going back to like
right.
1940?"
I remember when I
I
watched
was,
it, I was like, didn't you just meet this dude?
I was just like, I was feeling kind of weird. Like, I was like, "Huh," but I guess like I don't know. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's like he just put everything right in the Tinder bio, and then just didn't turn out to be who he was.
Oh
So
no, not the Tinder bio. No, but let's see. Movies that have made me gasp, like I didn't see something coming. Um, all right. Here's something that didn't make me gasp, but this is another spoiler. This is just a spoiler cast at this point.
yeah, I was gonna
All
say
right.
like, yeah, we
Well, this is
can't.
Spider-Man
I mean, I
PS4.
can just name the movie without
Oh,
actually
this is
like
Spider-Man PS4. This is before like it came out, or this is 2018. So that's a good amount of time. I feel like
or
if you have a PS4 and you haven't played Spider-Man PS4, there's only 10 minutes left in the stream. Leave the stream and go play the game. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Just leave the stream,
like
go play the I don't know why you have a PlayStation 4 and don't have that game. I'm like
that's
literally there's
literally
no
the only reason I have a PlayStation
in
4
my
was so I could play
right,
that
in my
game.
opinion, here's the thing. In my opinion, there is no reason to get the PlayStations unless you're playing the exclusives. If you don't like PlayStations for the exclusives, I think you can still get a PlayStation. If that's what you like, get a PlayStation. But I feel like the exclusives are the only
There's
reason.
no reason that you should have a PlayStation and not have that
Right,
game.
that's what I'm really trying to say. Like, cause if you want a PlayStation for your your Call of
That's
Duties and
fine.
stuff like that, that's fine. But honestly, get something cheaper, or like I don't know, whatever it plays on that's the cheapest.
Or get Spider
Use
Man.
that.
Just get
But if
Spider
you got a
Man.
PS4, you should have that Spider-Man game. So I'm just gonna talk about it. Look, I saw it coming, but I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
I thought I I thought we were gonna have it
Yo,
in like
that's
a
the only video
second
game
game.
ever get me
I
like that,
thought we were
bro.
gonna have it in like a second game or something like that. Like this was the setup. But like, so
Yeah.
I was really when they were like, that is just like the smartest supervillain we've ever seen. I was like, who the fuck is this? Like I was like, we didn't went through the whole rogues. Oh no.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I was gonna say like I didn't think that we were gonna because it's like everybody kind of knew where that was going, but I didn't think it was gonna go there in this game, you know. And then that scene at the end where he's just like, "You knew." Oh man, that's such a good
That is a
scene. Like
perfect
you know,
scene. He's like,
yeah.
hard.
He's like, "Not what it means to me."
It's like,
I
what
was
do
like,
you
"Yeah, this is
mean?
so good."
The tune card says Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima is must
Yes,
get to. I've never played it, but it
yes.
looks like Assassin's Creed. Is it Assassin's Creed or is it Japanese Assassin's
So
Creed?
yeah, like because like I'm thinking about getting it because literally the reason I said yes is because somebody told me to get that today, and my boy was telling me about it earlier. I need like earlier
Yeah.
today. I need to get that game because I've heard it nothing but good
Yeah.
things. Like visually and story wise, that it's really
Well,
good.
I have for me, I have I've got to get through Spider-Man Miles Morales. Then I got to
Yeah,
get through what is it? Zelda, Age of Calamity. So Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Once I get through both of those, I do kind of have some free space. But I wanted to jump into Persona 5 Royale. I thought that was a pretty cool game. So we'll have to
I have,
see if I get onto the Ghost of Tsushima. But because again, I'm working through the PlayStation hits because they're at the end of their generation, kind of.
yeah. That's basically because like I'm playing The Last of Us for the first time ever.
Yeah, I heard The Last
And,
of Us 2. Surprisingly, I heard it wasn't that good. And I was like,
yeah, I heard people saying it wasn't
I
good, but
enjoyed
like
Here's the thing. I enjoyed The Last of Us 1. I thought it was cool the way that they made the character do something that made they took the choice away from the player, which is
yeah,
a bold idea, but is also like something that I think can be worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what's weird about games is that games are supposed to be interactive, but I feel like games are trying to be like this is a controversial take, but I feel like because games are trying to be more like movies, that sometimes kind of takes away from like,
Right, the
in my
game
opinion, the
aspect.
experience a little bit.
I think
You
when you
know?
do, for me, I'm okay. Here's the thing: if you are in the, what is it, Heavy Rain slash Detroit Become Human camp, no. I feel like at that point, that guy just wants. I think his name is David Cage. It's like, just make a movie. You want that's what you want to do. Just make a movie because these aren't enjoyable games. Like I played Heavy Rain. I thought it was fine, but all it was a movie. That's all it was. And so I was like, if I wanted to watch a movie,
Yeah.
I didn't have to press triangle over and over again. But
Listen, if we talk about games, next time on the stream, we need to get Daryl on here to talk about Kingdom Hearts because
you mean
he
look,
like
look, look. Kingdom Hearts takes a degree
yeah,
to understand. I swear to beans.
exactly. But
I studied it
Daryl,
for like a
listen,
solid
Daryl
month.
is a
It is
guy to talk about Kingdom
crazy,
Hearts with.
bro. Do you
Because let me tell you something. Me and Daryl both understand that that is the most ridiculous shit you will ever hear in your life, right? But it's a fun game, and listening to Daryl talk about it is pretty funny. So, like, if we ever decide that we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts
you
on
know what
here,
I gotta
and you
do?
want to know everything there is to know about Kingdom Hearts, Meech,
All right, I got my boy Kyle. My boy Kyle, he knows
yeah,
Kingdom Hearts. Like that's his ish. So I would
yeah,
love to hear both of them go like back to back talking about it. Maybe we'll have a stream where we talk about Kingdom Hearts. We'll bring them up. Maybe we. I was thinking that would be a good idea. You know, because like we said, the stream right now is both going to be Patreon and free for people. So the first 30 minutes will be for Patreon viewers, and then the last hour, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on kind of like what our time schedules are going to be. The streams will always be at least an hour, but sometimes they might go over like today. But what's it called? What we were thinking about doing is inviting, like exclusive guests to the first half of the Patreon portion. So it's kind of just like you can interact with them and things like that. And I think that would be pretty cool because it can kind of be easy to get somebody. It's kind of hard to say, hey, can you come join us for an hour and a half in the middle of the week? It's a little bit easier, like, hey, can you jump into the call for 30 minutes? So I think that would be something great for the Patreon subscribers. So if we decide to set up this lecture on Kingdom Hearts, even though I think you need at least to effectively tell the story of Kingdom Hearts, I think
you need 4 hours.
you need 4 hours. Yeah, you need about 4 hours to go through all the detail that you would, all the relative plot points and things like that. From my understanding, it's something like, shiitake. You know what? I had a summary a long time ago. I have no idea. Every time, everything I think about now.
I play the games and I'm intimate with the story, but honestly, I couldn't tell
That's
you
one of those
either.
games that honestly, I always stand like, oh, Kingdom Hearts is so cool, and it's like, it's just I
But
have no
listen,
idea what's
actually,
going on. I don't even really like the
oh,
gameplay.
but let
It
me say
just
something
look
because
cool.
the first game is wait, we're gonna save it for another stream. But let me just say the first game is one of the best games ever made. It's so fun. Kingdom Hearts 2, though, to me, even though story wise it isn't as tight, is the most fun game I've ever played in my life, including SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Okay,
Like yeah, no, it's like in Spider-Man PS4. Like
Daryl
those stories are
Toon
like my
Squad says that
favorite.
he
Most
can
like
play the whole. He can tell the whole story of Kingdom Hearts in 30 minutes. All right, we're gonna do that for the
yeah.
first 30 minutes. We're talking exclusively about Kingdom Hearts. I don't know how many people are gonna be like, I've got to sign up for this Patreon, but I think that
But
is a good
honestly,
idea.
while they're talking about it, I'm gonna try and draw the story of Kingdom Hearts
In
2, try
30
to keep
minutes.
up.
It's like,
Yeah.
first there was this dude, his name's Zimnus, and he did these things. Or no, there was the Great Keeper, and they hid one of
He's
the
a boy and
blades.
his son.
I think you ever go watch girlfriend reviews of on YouTube of Kingdom Hearts. Like that is the most hilarious ish I've ever
I
seen
think I've seen it.
in
It's
my
pretty good.
life.
Yeah.
That is so fun. I love that channel. That was hilarious. The one that she did for PS4 was like, when I help him solve a puzzle, this is how I feel. It's like I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Oh yeah, wait, wonderful. I'm something of a. Yo, that's another one we got to do. We got to review the
the
all the
the
Spider-Man
review.
movies,
Well,
yo.
there's rumors that they coming back for the new joint.
Yo, okay.
Wait, it's
We got to end
7:57,
this.
so we gotta close this down.
Like, but at the same time, I got feelings on that. We gonna bring that up
Cause
another
I
time,
don't
though.
know how I feel. A part of me is like, why?
Yay.
But like, I'm like, look, here's the thing. I feel like in each Spider-Man's own way, except for poor Andrew. I don't really have any affinity towards him. I think he looks cool though. I like his costume.
Yeah, I feel like it's not.
His
My
costume's the
problems with
most
it
creative.
they aren't his fault. It's the
Yeah, like
movies.
he
But
didn't write the script. But the point is
exactly.
that, and obviously he's a really good, what's it called, actor. Like I've seen him in other content when I'm like, oh, he's actually really good. But, what I wanted to, what was I saying? I just don't know how I feel about that. I feel like as separate entities, they have their own kind of thing going on. But I don't know if you gotta fight the Sinister Six, maybe just maybe, you're gonna need the help of a couple other Spider-Mans. Plus, everybody seemed to understand Spider-Verse pretty easily. But Spider-Verse is one of those films. It's like getting a,
It's
you know
special.
what Spider-Verse is? Spider-Verse is like getting an A on your exam even though you didn't study. Like
Not only that, Spider Verse
that,
is
and I
unique
don't
in
want to
this
say that
that
that degrades the work of those people. Obviously, they put in a lot of work. What I'm saying is that it feels like it had no reason to be as good as
to
what
be
it
as good as.
was.
But here's another thing though. Like Spider Verse could be more niche, whereas I feel like Spider Man movies have to be more like broad because like I know a lot
A
of people
lot
that
of
didn't
people
watch
who
Spider Verse
didn't.
just
It was a
because it was
cartoon.
animated.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you're right. I always
Yeah,
hated
whereas the
that.
live action ones, it's a lot of like not and the thing is anybody can watch these movies. I'm not trying to sound like pretentious or anything like that, but it's like a lot of just like, hey, I want to check out this action movie. And then they're super confused. It's kind of like the whole Infinity War Endgame thing where it's like people who had never watched the Marvel movie before were trying to come in because it was like, oh yeah, like this is like a really big movie series and everybody's talking about it. I want to know what this cultural phenomenon is because I want to be included, which is awesome,
Right.
right? But it's a really hard thing to jump into because you kind of have to have seen like 20 other movies.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I
yeah, like whereas Spider Verse, it's like one because it's animated, you kind of buy into it a little bit easier, and two, like based on all the references and jokes in it, it's kind of like you could tell like, oh, this is also for people who really love this
right,
character,
right.
you know?
It's okay. I kind of get what you're saying, but
Yeah,
we'll have to see how it all pans out in the end. But
yeah.
overall, as we all know, well, maybe not everybody knows, but me and Noah could continue to talk for hours, but we actually have other work to do. So
And by other work to do, I mean play this game.
yeah, hey yeah. No, but yeah, for sure. Thanks everybody for coming on to the stream. Really enjoyed it. Love the feedback. Please feel free to or not even feel free. Please comment, subscribe. Tell us kind of like what the type of
Share.
content. Share. Tell us the content that you want to see, because this is Imaginex Live is really meant for us to really engage with our audience. We want to be talking to people, kind of figuring out the things that you like. What do you guys want to see on stream? What do you want to see from our perspective? Things like that. Tell us. Some of the things that we were brainstorming. Like maybe we might play some games during some streams. Maybe like an Among Us stream that's still in the
Yeah.
popular eye, and that's something that we can easily set up. We were thinking about maybe bringing on some of our other team members. Maybe we'll get Jimmy to come out. James, not James. Jimmy loves to chill in his house and not be on screen. So, but maybe we can get Jimmy to come out. We got some of our other what's it called, animators that we'd love to bring on. But as you see, we might be bringing on Daryl and my buddy Kyle next time around. So the next Imaginex Live isn't gonna happen until I guess this is a good place. We'll announce it on Instagram later, but um, the team has put in a ton of work, and we're gonna be releasing content for we released the election day content, and then on top of that, we have some stuff that's going out for our patrons, and we'll be posting just different behind the scenes stuff like that, throughout Instagram. But for the month
Oh,
of
yeah.
December, we're actually going to go on hiatus. So there will not be an animated short coming out in. I'm like looking at this screen. I want to change the position of my cameras. There actually will not be a animated piece of content in December. We're going to be back in January, and we're switching things around to try to be able to put out, um, consistently more content that we think is like that we can take the time to actually really work on it. That's why things like Patreon really helps us out a lot because each way when we have that kind of like that money coming in, it allows us to sit back, take more time, and put in more work into things. So please,
Yeah.
like overall, um, just know that we're just probably not going to have that. We might have a stream like a Christmas stream or something like that, where we bring
For
everybody
sure.
together. I think that would still be something that we can all put together. But mostly, we want to give everybody time to kind of just relax for all their hard work. So, Imaginex is pretty much taking most of the month of or all of the month of December off, and we will be back in the new year with new content. So, thank you for joining the stream. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been fun, and thank you guys for participating and asking questions and all that kind of stuff. It's really been fun to rap with you guys this whole time.
Right, for sure.
So, um, here's doing it
All right.
again.
See you guys next month.